Welcome to another CEO Wisdom podcast. I have stopped doing some of these as of late, but I had to do this one with my friend Joseph Onorati. Joseph's no G, to say the least. He's the CEO of DFDV, which is DeFi Development Corporation. It's been the fastest growing stock behind the random Chinese stock in 2025 in the US market. He's worked at Kraken for almost 10 years. Hell of a guy, free speaker as well. So, welcome, Joseph. Tell us a bit more about yourself and what you've been up to.
Hey, Charles. Yeah, thanks for having me on here. Appreciate it. Um, yeah, like you said, I'm working on DFDV as the ticker, DeFi Development Corp. It's a Solana treasury company, a digital asset treasury, or a DAT, which maybe y'all have heard about. MicroStrategy with Michael Saylor kind of started this off with public corporations holding digital assets on their balance sheet. First Bitcoin, but we're the first non-Bitcoin treasury company in the US. And Solana, Sol is our asset. The business runs a validator on the Solana network and stakes its balance sheet assets to the validator. And we attempt to earn additional yield for the company denominated in Sol. The purpose or mission of the company is to grow crypto asset per share or Solana per share, which is the case for many of these digital asset treasury companies. Also, like Charles mentioned, I was at Kraken for a long time, not quite a decade, but I left there about a year and a half ago. Most recently as chief strategy officer there, and started working on this business back in January. We did a change of control transaction with a public company in April to take the new business public, which, like we said, is listed on NASDAQ, and we fundraised, I think, 4 different times now, across 4 different tranches, with total fundraising around $400 million now, and we've invested virtually all of that into Solana, which again we attempt to generate yield on to grow that Sol per share.
Very interesting. Let's start with your time at Kraken. So, what did you learn from there? What did chief strategy officer role entail, and how crazy was it? Was it like roller coaster type of company?
Yeah. Well, the whole crypto space is kind of a roller coaster kind of space. If especially if you go back far enough. I joined there in 2016, and I don't know. I guess I moved around quite a bit in the company. There were about 23 people when I joined, and I think I don't know. There's probably around 2,000 people there now, and so kind of major growth experience, got exposed to a lot of different parts of the company, saw like a major scale up kind of from the inside. And then what was the role more recently? I don't know. I kind of was one of the people who kind of put out fires, I guess. So if there was some kind of problem somewhere, sometimes I would pick up that team or pick up that problem, say, and then my job was to kind of try to resolve it and then hand it off, hopefully to somebody who knew better than I do or did how to deal with it. So, for example, I'd never worked in HR, but at one point I got kind of handed the HR team, which included talent acquisition or recruiting, and said, or was told, hey, figure this out until we can hire a chief people officer who knows what they're doing. And I think I I held on to that team for, I think, 18 months until we did make a hire, and thankfully Kraken's new chief people officer is still there, and he stuck around for a long time.
So you must have learned a lot from your time there, like extinguishing fires. Did you just get used to it? Like, how many fires was it? Was it daily? And I don't know. Do you still feel stressed nowadays, like with DFDV, or have you just got that shit under control?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say daily. Sometimes it's just kind of build mode, try to keep up with demand, or maybe we're in a bear market and uh, I don't know, we could be planning a layoff or something, right? I wouldn't consider it necessarily like putting out a fire in those cases. There's a lot of building and a lot of planning as well. Um, but the kind of exciting or most exciting parts were the oh geez, this is in a bad situation. We have to fix it immediately kind of ones. Uh, I think you asked me something else, but I don't remember what it was.
Well, the shit under control, because you look like a very chilled guy, like you look very stoic, like myself, but I cannot say that I have everything under control, right? Like some stuff might hit me like from a dead angle, and I might be surprised and might get stressed about it. Like last week, I fired a client because we was just being a dick, just like not a client fit, and I got pretty pissed for like an hour or two. How
Mhm.
do you get your shit together?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of come and go on this. So some stuff that's helped me a lot. I started doing therapy about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. That's been a big help for me. I think you kind of have to have a goal when you go into therapy on what you want to work on and have some structure to it. It's not like show up and talk about what your current problem is, but that's been great. And then I have many kind of routines and habits, especially that I do in the morning that I think are, I don't know, grounding might be the right word, but I think that's kind of sets me up for the day. And kind of I think the whole point of these kind of routines that you see entrepreneurs or founders or athletes or whatever talk about on the internet or whatever is to deal with bad shit when it comes up. That's the whole point of them, in my view. Um, and that's kind of how I look at it. So I eat almost exactly the same thing every day. I eat the basically Brian Johnson's diet, the guy who's going to live forever. Yeah, and that reduces a lot of stress. I wear almost exactly the same clothes every day, also reduces a lot of stress. And, I guess Steve Jobs kind of popularized this. Um, and I try to do exactly the same thing every morning. And I don't know, I think this stuff sort of just sets you up. I also try to work out every morning, well, 6 days a week anyway. And that's all part of the, stress management or able to deal with a challenge when it comes up. Yeah, so your friend Sonny, mutual friend of ours, right? He's stronger than me on this stuff. I think gets up at 4 a.m. I think maybe you do too, and then goes through these like I don't know extremely long, from my perspective anyway, kind of rituals to kind of prepare himself for the day, and then you can look back after I don't know maybe deadlifting or whatever, right, and say that was the hardest thing I'm going to do today, and everything else kind of feels easy in comparison.
Yeah. I started biohacking, I think I was like 20, right? So I A/B tested pretty much a full book except the Brian Johnson thing. So I'm going to have a follow up question for that. But I don't start my day with hard shit. I start with walking my dogs. It's
Mhm.
uphill, right? And it's hot here. So it may be hot, but that frees up my mind quite a lot. Um, and yet like I do A/B test a lot of things nowadays, but not as much as I was before because I already did the full A/B testing and I know what works and what doesn't. um, my question though, we'll get to the biohacking stuff maybe a bit later, but uh, I know how you got the idea of DFDV, right? Like the Solana of the Michael Saylor micro strategy of Solana, for example.
Mhm.
How did you get the balls to leave Kraken, which must have paid you nice money, and yeah, to get from employee to founder?
Yeah, thanks. I'd actually been a founder before, and so I don't know. Maybe this is kind of like a easy question for me. But when I joined Kraken, it was coming off of my previous company, which had essentially, failed. We had to fire everybody. We ran out of money. Um, and I joined Kraken. I saw a good opportunity, I think, but also, got lucky, right? Maybe is another way to put it. But when I joined Kraken, I said I'm going to start another company someday, and it was more like I don't know, surprising or felt out of character to me to have stuck around so long. So it was kind of refreshing. At the end, I said, "Geez, maybe I would have been better off if I left earlier." I mean, it was a great company, and I'm really happy about it. And we're a client today, personally a client, etc. But probably would have been healthier for me if I left earlier.
Was the decision to go public like absolutely part of the idea, or was that something that was optional?
Yeah, in order for the digital asset treasury company kind of structure to work, it has to be a publicly listed company, because the idea behind it is um, you part of the value proposition of this company is expanding access to Solana for investors. So anybody with a brokerage account can trade Sol via the trade leveraged Sol, get access to leveraged Sol actually through the investment in the company. And so, in order to kind of achieve that portion of the uh, plan, I guess, for the company, it has to be public.
How complex was it, that process? And yeah, was it a big risk looking back, or was that like walk in the park?
Yeah, I think it was yeah, it was a big risk. The way we did the change of control transaction, kind of my team that we put together around this, and notably kind of co-founder Parker White, he and I put up most of the money to buy control of this public company. So we had to put down our own money to do it. And there were probably several points where this could have, totally failed, and we would end up holding, a bunch of stock in a relatively small company with, the stock would have been illiquid, and we would have had I'd say a lot of trouble kind of working our way out of that. The business that we acquired was bought control of, was a real estate professional SaaS business, and of course, have some experience with real estate, but nothing nothing close to what I would need to actually run this business without being able to retain the previous team that was there.
When you exited Kraken, that's like as rich as you've ever been, right? Like after you liquidated your stock?
Oh, I didn't sell my Kraken stock,
No?
but as rich as I've ever been. I think I was probably wealthier in the end of the 21 cycle or the 22 cycle, because altcoins had pumped just this enormous amount. And Kraken stock was also at an all-time high at that time. And I didn't sell any then either. You're muted, Charles.
Thanks for that. You were just comfortable financially. It wasn't like if you needed that money to buy like any other things you wanted in life, you just wanted a home run to one, give people access to that, but also like what's your philosophy with wealth? Like when will you have enough? Do you have like a financial goal?
No. Well, I have had financial goals in the past, and it's kind of crazy. Like I set a goal back in 2013, and I picked this at the time crazy big number, and it made me kind of rethink all of my decisions at the time. I saw on your website that you have a goal as well. You even have a chart to get to it, and I thought when I set the goal, it was like jarring. I was like, oh, I can't possibly get this with any path that I'm on now, and I have to do something completely different. And I think that's one of the huge benefits of like a proper goal setting process. But anyway, generally, philosophy on money, I'm going to give most of it away. So we're starting a foundation, like a charitable foundation, and I'm in Canada, and yeah, there's tax benefits to doing that, but I'm going to give most of the money away, and that's been the goal for I don't know, a long time.
And what if you don't die with the Brian Johnson?
Oh no, I'm going to give it away
hiking?
before I die. Yeah, there's this book. I think, what's the name of that book? Die with Nothing or something like that. And
But what if you don't die? What if you live forever?
oh, then I'll be infinitely productive because I'll live forever. So I'm not worried about it.
So what makes you happy nowadays? Like just geeking out on crypto stuff? Like what generates the most value in your life?
Yeah, honestly, I'm probably autistic, and I love like going down a rabbit hole, just getting obsessed with something, and then look up, and it's like 18 hours later, and I learned a whole bunch about the thing, right? So I think hackathons, for example, are a ton of fun, right? For kind of the same reason, you just can set everything else aside and like mega focus on the one thing, and kind of get into a flow state, and that's so much fun. And I kind of remember when that happened and gain a lot of joy out of that. I've got a family as well. I love spending time with the kids and my wife, and and sometimes we get to kind of geek out on the same things. So that's pretty great as well.
So what was your emotional reaction when the stock went ballistic and when it sort of regulated? I'm gonna show a chart in a second.
Uh oh. Um, yeah. Well, honestly, I had pretty high expectations because the way we structured the transaction, uh, one of the outcomes was the significant stock price appreciation, not up to the amounts that you're kind of mousing over now, but the much earlier part.
Hmm.
Um, I don't remember what I'm like screenshotting the chart or whatever while the price is moving. I'm like, it's happening. Um, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, the team definitely
That's
celebrating
crazy.
together on this. Yeah, we had a hell of a time there, I gotta say. And nobody sold any stock. None of the team who participated in the transaction has sold any of their stock yet.
And what's your philosophy with celebration? Like, I'm also like somewhat on the spectrum. I don't celebrate much nowadays. I have like micro celebrations, right?
Mhm.
What was your celebration?
Uh, yeah, I'm pretty sure I just went out to dinner with my wife, and it was very nice. Pretty chill
But
place too. There's a place I like around here that's you know, healthy food. And that's kind of our celebration spot.
and just to give the audience some idea, right? Like when it was at 34 USD, like how much millions did you made off that or could have made because you didn't sell any stock, right? But
Yeah, this is
just tell,
public.
yeah.
Um, I've, I don't know. I think at the peak, uh, it was probably like $100 million. But the stocks come down quite a bit from the peak, right? So, um, but I don't know. You live in crypto land long enough, and you go through the cycles, and that's just how it is. Some days you're up big, some days you're down bigger.
And I'm pretty sure right now the vision is just that it'll become as big as Bitcoin one day. Is it? Is that the vision? Do you hope to see the stock like fucking ludicrous mode, Tesla mode at some point in 5, 10 years from now?
Um, well, the stock's performance is heavily related to the performance of Solana, and I'm really bullish on Solana in the long term. And kind of our long term thesis is that uh, there's, I guess, how do I put this? I think that virtually all value transfer ought to happen on a blockchain, and today the blockchains aren't cheap enough or fast enough for that to happen. Solana has the best chance to be the blockchain where virtually all value transfer happens. And if that's the case, there's trillions and trillions of dollars in value transfer. We're going to put out like a publication on this later to kind of show our argument. But we have a model where we think Sol tokens, which are around $200 today per token, can reach $10,000. And of course, if that happens, then yeah, the companies like Tesla level Tesla level value. But again, this is super dependent on the value of the token, and it's public. It's on our website dfdv.com how much Sol we're holding on the balance sheet and how much we have previously forecasted that we think we could accumulate.
Why dedicate your life to crypto and not AI?
I think that's a really good question. So thank you for asking that. I admire the people who have dedicated their lives to AI. So I think so. I'm like an anarchist and agorist, I think is actually the word, though I don't know if I've ever heard anybody say it out loud.
Agorist.
Agorist, yeah. Anyway, anarcho-capitalist, though I'm trying to be specific with my language. So I think that the society that has the best outcomes for the least fortunate people is a like a free market anarchist system. So one without government and very free markets. And so kind of coming from that angle or perspective, one aspect of that kind of future vision is a sound monetary system. So shouldn't have fiat, or if there is government fiat, it should be in competition with a sound monetary system. And I think Bitcoin is an excellent vehicle or path toward a sound monetary system for a society like the one I hope to live in one day or kind of envision. And I think additionally, the Bitcoin as a sound monetary system needs a financial system, like an operating system on which to run. And I think Solana is like an excellent kind of venue for that financial system, hence the name DeFi Development Corporation for the company here. But I think sound money is one of the most important things that humanity or civilization could be working on. I think that if we set up an alternative sound monetary system, then that one could transition to when fiat systems kind of get bad enough or inflation gets high enough. And of course, I think we've seen this take place over the last, say, I don't know, 12 or 13, 15 years. Then this could restrict the amount of war that takes place. It could reduce environmental devastation. I think it'll improve outcomes meaningfully for, like I said, the least fortunate people. So I think working on bringing about a sound monetary and financial system based around those assets is an incredibly noble thing to work on, and certainly at least competitive with working on AI.
Yeah, love it. Joseph, thank you for coming on. Where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, probably the company's website, dfdv.com is the website, and we have all of our metrics there. And you can subscribe to our blog or newsletters on the website there. I'd say that's the number one spot. I'm on social media, but I don't post very often.
It's Joseph and Charles for another CEO Wisdom podcast.